Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. Apparently, WWE is done with Karrion Kross and his wife, Scarlett. Their contracts expired on August 10th, and it doesn't seem like WWE is renewing those contracts. So according to social media, where Scarlett posted a sort of a long tweet about her career, and then she opened herself up for bookings with an email at the end. Karrion Kross posted a documentary, an hour and 10-minute documentary about how he no longer works for WWE, and then he also posted his booking email. Now, Karrion Kross has been the topic of conversation in WWE with WWE fans on social media since WrestleMania, since he had that sort of pipe bomb-esque thing where he just sort of exploded with frustration about what's going on, what he thinks, and he was as real and as raw and as organic as you can possibly get, and fans deeply connect with that no matter when it happens. Fans want to connect with the real version of the wrestler. They want to feel that authenticity, so you can toe that line between authenticity and playing a character like Karrion Kross did really well. The fans are going to buy in to that narrative. And they have. They have definitely bought in to the idea of Karrion Kross. We want Kross. We want Kross. I mean, We Want Kross was trending #1 in sports on X last night, August 10th, after Kross released his documentary and fans found out that he wasn't coming back to WWE. Now, I don't think Kross is like uber world champion material. I think he's a little lackluster in the ring, but I do think he has, great character. I think he has a great promo. I think he has a great message. I really like Karrion Kross as the person he is behind the character. I know him a little bit. But every fan is so funny. They're like, he's a world champion. He just needs a great storyline. Everyone needs a great storyline, but not everyone can be world champion. I mean, we recently saw this with R-Truth. R-Truth contract expires, doesn't come back. Fans go apeshit, gets brought back. He becomes Ron Killings, shaves his hair, shaves his head, is Ron Killings for a day. Contract gets all sorted out. Now he's back to being comedy R-Truth. And no one cares about him anymore. And no one says he's going to be a world champion. I mean, I'm so glad that R-Truth has a job. He deserves it for the rest of his life for being the person that he is and his contributions to professional wrestling, the locker room, and WWE. But not everyone can be a world champion. Sami Zayn, LA Knight. Are these guys going to be world champions? Do you want them to be world champions? They're way better in the ring than Karrion Kross. Do you want Karrion Kross to be a world champion? Not everyone can have the best storyline. Not everyone can have the top talent. Not everyone can have the meat of the show, right? There has to be the high card, the mid card, the low card, and everything in between. And I'm so glad the fans connected with Karrion Kross and really do want to see him succeed. He seems like an absolute stand-up guy from the little that I've spent time with him on independent shows. He really does buy into the things that he's saying. And he had 3 matches with Sami Zayn. He was just on the PLE on SummerSlam. But you could see how lackluster he is inside the ring. Now, he posted this full documentary, hour and 10 minutes, heavily produced documentary about his contract ending with WWE, no longer working for WWE. So speculation has started to run that is this all a work? Now, I told you some real facts, right? WWE is done with Karrion Kross. He's been really hot since April. We Want Kross was trending, right? His merch has been really selling out. But also, after that pipe bomb-esque thing in April after WrestleMania, there were some higher-ups that were very upset. Some bruised egos, some people that thought he shouldn't have done that it didn't make sense, it was making them look bad, right? All these sorts of things. So this could also be fuel to the fire. But also you have Paul Heyman on a really big podcast recently saying that Karrion Kross, the movement of Karrion Kross, is very similar to the movement of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, Paul Heyman is very meticulous and smart with the words he says. He's not going to bring up Karrion Kross and compare him to Stone Cold Steve Austin if he doesn't think that WWE might have some plans for Karrion Kross. We've seen works like this before. We just saw a work with Seth Rollins, his injury versus LA Knight. Worked almost everyone in the locker room, even Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch's family members, right, were not told. And then he comes back, he's fine, he's healthy, he worked everyone, he wins the World Heavyweight Championship, he cashes in a Money in the Bank. Is this another situation where WWE is trying to work us? Everything in wrestling is a work. Everything in wrestling is meant to suspend your belief and make you just think that is true, that's not true, that this is true, this is a shoot, this is real, this is a work, this is a shoot, this is real, and then you buy into it. So really, when any situation happens, you have absolutely no idea. Now, if this is real and their contract has actually expired and they're not coming back to WWE, I absolutely 100% wish them the best in anything that they do. I think they're going to be successful in any company that they go to. I hope he has a successful book tour and people really get inspired by him and the way he lives his life. I absolutely think so. And I hope him and his wife have a beautiful, beautiful marriage. And if they want to have kids and all that great stuff, beautiful, fantastic. I hope he continues to inspire people to work out, to live their best life, to be authentic, to all those sorts of things. Now, if it's not true, and this is all a work, I think this could be a really brilliant thing. It's just so interesting to see that on the day his contract expires, he has an hour and 10-minute fully produced documentary ready to go with some WWE footage in there, which had to get approved by WWE. And I don't know, it just seems interesting. And then you have Bully Ray like a week ago saying the movement should be that Cross lives on social media. That yes, maybe you see him on Raw, maybe he's around, but he's never put on TV. Everything he does lives on social media. So the fans keep getting more and more worked up about why isn't Cross on TV? We want Cross, we want Cross. And everything he does lives on social, but it's through the WWE lens, and it just builds more and more. Because if you give the fans exactly what they want, which is right now they want Cross, and you give them this contract, their sort of need for Cross is going to die out, and so is his popularity. But WWE wants to ride this wave, so they're maybe going with the Bully Ray strategy of only living on social, right? Fans are very, very impatient. So you make them wait a little bit more, their feelings start to rise even more about what they want and what they think they want and how they want to see it. And so now they think that the contract has expired. They think their voice means nothing, even though they got R-Truth back into WWE. But sometimes people do have to just be let go. Sometimes there are bruised egos. Sometimes the company doesn't mesh well with the talent, even if they have some potential to do a good storyline, right? He could be a guy in an upper mid-card level. I don't see him as a super top guy. I don't see him as a world heavyweight champion. But I could be wrong in that regard if this movement organically takes off like a Stone Cold Steve Austin, like an Austin 316, and all of a sudden now he's more over than everyone. You got We Want Cross shirts. I mean, it's unbelievable, and it's going crazy. Yes, then you put him in the world title picture because you carry that momentum. And so, though, is this a work based on some of these things we've heard from Paul Heyman, based on some of these things we've heard from Bully Ray, based on this movement that they're trying to organically create? It did get created and started organically in April after WrestleMania, but now how can WWE sort of manufacture, mold, and script this so it still thinks like so the fans still think like it's an organic, we want Cross, we're doing our part to get him out there, but now they're manufacturing this with the contract expiring, with him only living on social media, with WWE feeding the dirt sheets that Cross is a bad guy and there's bruised egos and people weren't happy with what he did, and all these sorts of things can lead to the number one trend in sports, 15K people watching his video, we want Cross. Now, what happens on the August 11th edition of Monday Night Raw? Do we see Cross? Does he tweet about something happening on social? Do we see some backstage footage of him? Do we see the We Want Cross movement only living on social media during the 2.5 hours of Monday Night Raw? Or is this whole thing legit and WWE is actually done with Cross? I tend to believe this is part of a movement, this is part of a work, this is part of what WWE is trying to do to actually carry this Karrion Kross thing into something that could actually make WWE and Karrion Kross money and produce a great storyline for the fans. But that's my thoughts and opinions on that, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I'd love to know what you think about the whole situation in the comments down below. Then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.